Okay, gang, time to get this show on the road. Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates here. It is Tuesday, 11:44 a.m. on Tuesday, February 12th. Who knows? 69 degrees and cloudy here on the island of Oahu, or at least in my little corner of the island of Oahu. Thank you very much to everybody who has expressed concern. A lot of you have heard about the storms that came through here over the weekend. Oahu, Kauai got the worst of it. They came from the north. I think it was a low pressure coming in. The video and photos you saw at the beginning are, Mike and I went up to the North Shore on Saturday and took some videos and photos of the waves. They were amazing. You know, Mother Nature, I hate that people got harmed in this, but Mother Nature is magnificent. The power, there was nobody in the water. I don't know whether there were any surfers. We were just in the Haleiwa area. So I don't know if there were any surfers down in the more popular beaches down further on the North Shore, but I can't imagine that there were, because this was dangerous. I don't know how high the waves were in the pictures that we showed you. I don't think the pictures in the video even did it justice. It was just amazing. Sunday, it just rained. You know, I've told you before that the rain that we got here, and of course, we've only been here a couple months. What do I know, right? I have a hair right here that's going to drive me crazy. But for the most part, so far since we've been here, the rain has just been this misty, I call it mizzle, kind of between a mist and a drizzle. There's water in the air, whether it's the clouds down, but it's not like it's really raining. Sunday, it rained off and on all day long, and these were downpours, and it's just like somebody would flip a switch and it just pour, and then they'd flip a switch and it stopped. Actually, that's the kind of rain we got used to in Sarasota and Florida, where they're just these very, very isolated cells, off and on all day. Mike and I have a app called Dark Sky that sends notifications to our watches that says, rain starting soon in Mililani, Hawaii, or rain stopping soon in Mililani, Hawaii, or downpour starting soon. It was going off all day long. So that was odd. Yesterday it rained again some more, and it's been raining off and on again this morning, so I don't know whether that's the end of these. But Oahu didn't get it too badly. Lots of wind, and we are down in a valley, so we could see the trees out here really whipping around, but we weren't too bad down here in the valley. Lots of debris down on the roads, but nothing too bad. I know other places in the islands did get it pretty bad. I know the mountain on Maui, the snow that came down there, I don't remember the number, but it came down further on that mountain than it has ever has before. So interesting weather, interesting times. My friends in Seattle have gotten walloped. I hope all those storms are past you now, and that you're digging out. I know it's fun for a little bit, but after a while it gets pretty darn old. I have a friend in Minnesota that the snow just keeps piling up there. Yeah. You know, Punxsutawney Phil, what, did he see a shadow? Did he not see a shadow? I can never remember. Spring's supposed to be coming early this year. Believe it when you see it, right? Although somebody did post, I think this was a friend in Virginia someplace, that their snowdrops are up and blooming. So, spring is coming. I do miss my spring flowers. I love the spring flowers. I've mentioned that. So anyway, that was the weekend. We did go out and buy a new car. Well, didn't buy, we leased a Honda Civic on Sunday. So we do have a second car. Bright red. I mean, bright red. Bright red, so that, wow, no problem finding that in the parking lot. I did go out on my own in the car on Monday. Woohoo! I went to Walmart. I went to the pet store. Woohoo! I actually went to the Walmart. There's a Walmart right here in Mililani to see what their craft section is like. I needed some of the matting board, the sticky mat board to finish things on. They don't carry it. I had to order from Amazon. One of the prime selections on Amazon that I picked said, when I got to checkout, said, sorry, we don't deliver to your area. So, found something else that is on its way. So yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on here, I think. Flosstube Monday didn't happen yesterday. Unfortunately, Mike was homesick, and like I said, I did some running around and I didn't really have any time to sit down and watch anything. But I did watch a new person on Saturday, Sunday, I don't remember. So I was watching Kathy from To Die House here on Flosstube, and she mentioned a new person that she had watched, Zook Stitch. Now, one of my favorite commenters, and there's quite a few of you, you know, one of my favorite commenters is named Carolyn Zook. We have a lot of fun back and forth here on my Facebook page. We just kind of hit it off. And she said she thinks she mentioned to me that she had started a Flosstube channel, but you know, over these past few months, there's just been so much going on. My brain's like a sieve. I missed it. So Kathy at To Die House mentioned this Zook Stitch, and I was like, did Carolyn start a Flosstube channel and not tell me? I mean, Zook isn't that common of a last name, right? Not one I've heard a lot. And of course, how many Zooks could there be? So sorry, Kathy, I stopped you right then and went over and found Zook Stitch, and sure enough, it's my friend Carolyn. So she has actually 4 videos out as of yesterday. Not yesterday, Sunday. She puts her videos out on Sunday. I was so excited. I've watched all 3 of them. She is starting she's working on finding some fabric for Harbor Haven. Yes, I did enable. Great job. She has some great stitches. She doesn't have as many WIPS as some of us. I would say I'm working on her, but she's fine with what she has. She has some great, she loves winter and Christmas ones. She has some beautiful pieces that she's working on, a beautiful Haid. So yeah, Zook Stitch. Run, don't walk. Check out my friend Carolyn. I'm thrilled that she's joined us here on Flosstube. So that's the only new person I've watched. So let's see. I have some finishes. Yay, I'm trying to get my button gear and finish all the ones that I finished stitching on the trip across the country. I still have 5 or 6 that I need to get put together. I went to the Goodwill store with Mike on Saturday before we headed to the North Shore. Sorry, it sounded like there was just a fly or something buzzing around. We don't get many bugs, although there is a little centipede on the wall above the windows, like right up by the ceiling, that there's no way any of us will be able to reach, even with a long vacuum hose thing. It's too high. So he's just, if you see me glancing over there, I'm just keeping an eye on this thing. He's just kind of rambling around up by the ceiling. But anyway, found some frames. There was one that I didn't buy that I think I need to go back maybe tomorrow and see if it's still there, that I should have gotten. So anyways, I'm slowly but surely getting all of these little things finished that I had finished stitching in the last few months. So I have a couple finishes, I have my WIPS, I have a new start, and then I have some haul to show you. So, none of which I actually purchased, which is the best kind. All right, so finishes. Please Be gentle. Oh, wait. Before I go there, I need to ask for continued prayers and positive thoughts for my father-in-law. I appreciate all that all your thoughts and prayers so far, and mentioning that to me. He went yesterday to his pulmonologist. They still don't know what's wrong. He had gone back home. Yesterday they had an appointment with his pulmonologist. They checked his blood levels, his hemoglobin levels, and his hemoglobin count was low enough again that he needed immediately go back to Mayo for another transfusion. So as far as I know, we haven't heard from my mother-in-law yet today. As far as I know, they're still at Mayo. They just don't know what's wrong. And Mike and I are kind of gearing up. You know, so far his mother has said, you don't need to rush. We don't know what's happening. I can handle it. We're okay. But we're kind of gearing up for, at some point, we've got to get there. Not that something bad and drastic is going to happen with his father-in-law, or with his father, but his mother is just going to reach the point where she needs help. And even if it's just me, I can just drop everything and go. So, at any point, I may turn up in Arizona. Who knows? Okay, now, on with the show. Be gentle. This is my first time, kind of, sort of. I finished the little filigree hearts. And yes, I used the sewing machine. So, I say be gentle because it is by no means perfect. There were a lot of little flubs on this that I learned from, one of which is it doesn't have nearly enough stuffing in it. These upper corners are kind of weak. The sewing, I didn't get the margins correct or the same all the way around, so it's not even. But I like it. I'm happy with it. It was a great little learning piece. And hey, it's a finish. And it's going in my little basket here with my other pillows, which you will see eventually. And I keep kind of squish the stuffing around, but it really doesn't work. So the edging is just this kind of ribbon stuff I found that was navy blue with these little kind of, I don't know, picot or ruffles of lighter blue. And so when I stitched it on, I stitched the beads in between each of the little ruffle thingies to kind of pull out the silver lined crystal beads in the piece. So, filigree heart is finished. Yay, Jan. Woo-hoo. Oh, and can I just say, you know, and before I start my videos, every time I will, what are you trying to say, Jan? I don't record anything, but I have it on video so I can test the lighting. And I'm holding this here, you know, looking to see what it looks like. And it's like, oh, the pillow's the same size as my head. Don't you love perspective? I just thought that was so funny. Oh, anyway, it's the little things that make me laugh. All right, the other one I finished, and this is one of the frames I got at the thrift store. You may remember this punch needle piece. This is called Coneflower by Kate Gillery. I'd been working on this for quite a while. I finally got this finished. I believe I got it finished before we left Maryland. So I finally got this framed. It's not perfect. The mat here is one of these like multi-layered mats. So you can see the deeper concave part above and below it. And I may add more to this, but I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And of course, you know, punch needle, you don't have perfect edges in punch needle. So it's not, you know, it's not even around the edges either. But I am very happy with this. And this will be going up here somewhere. Probably right back behind me. Yeah, probably up there. What do you think? Up there? I think that looks good. So, that is done, and I am thrilled with it. All right, WIPS. So I worked on several of my BAPs, and worked on Grateful Heart, and then started something new as well. So the first BAP that I worked on last week was my modern folk embroidery. And this got, this might have gotten this got 2 days. Maybe 2 days and a bit more, because I wanted to get the W started. So basically the top half of winter is done. I decided before I move on across the border, I'm going to complete the month. So I'm really happy with how this is turning out. So the variegated flosses here, this one that's blue and aqua and pale green and the purple and blue, those are from Color Compliments. That is a Etsy store, or maybe she has a website. I'll link it below, in Canada. And I think I just stumbled across her. I think the peach, this little bit of peach here, is also hers. I think I just stumbled across her on Etsy when I was looking for colors for this. The gray is, I believe that is Gentle Arts Liberty. And I don't remember what the brown is, but that's probably also a Gentle Arts sampler thread. And then the dark, the navy blue, is actually Victorian Motto's Midnight Hour. No, Midnight Hour is, I think Midnight Hour is what I'm using in Hoity Toity. I think this is Wrought Iron, also from Gentle Arts. So anyways, the next time I get this out, I probably will get a good chunk. I will probably be close to finishing, if not actually get winter done. So, very happy with my progress on that. And before I'm allowed to start, every time I sit down to do this, I take out more of this. All right, so here is that one. And that is done on a 40 count pearl gray linen. I don't remember where I got it or what brand it is. Oh, and I was going to show you, I keep saying oh, don't I? Oh. For those of you that may never have seen the Four Seasons piece by Modern Folk Embroidery, this is what we have going on here. So I'm working on this, and I have the top half done. So there's actually not too much. I mean, that center motif is going to take a bit, but all of these little bits and pieces down here won't take very long. So pretty. Love this. All right. Next on the agenda, Luz Gonzalez. So with this, I actually spent 3 days on this. I finished this satin stitch motif and just got a little tiny start on the rose. And I really like that there's both types of stitches on here, because the satin stitch, you know, all of these across here are satin stitches. They don't take too awfully long, but after a while it's like, meh, I'm ready to move on to something else. So the next time I pick this up, I'll work more on this, on the rose, and then I'll probably go to this and come back to this, you know, kind of back and forth, so I can have some variety going on there. But anyways. I left that in and I didn't mean to. Hold on. I actually had planned on ironing this. I know, what a concept, huh? Ironing this before I showed you. Oh, I guess you don't need to see the back. Not that my backs are bad, but that's not why you're here. I had planned on ironing this before I showed you, but I ran out of time and it was getting late, and I was like, oh well. So look at that satin stitch area. Isn't that gorgeous? It is just, the colors are so rich. It's soft and smooth. And then, so here's the bud sticking up, and this is the tip of a leaf here. So just got started with that. This is going to be such an amazing piece. Luz Gonzalez, Samplers Remembered. This is a 40 count fabric that I got from Victorian Motto Sampler Shop. And you know, I don't know what it is about this past couple of videos. I've had the needles almost falling out of this. I've had my needles falling out when I'm showing you things and I'm not seeing it. I don't know how they're slipping out. Last week, one slipped out. I found it by stepping on it. Some words were said. All right, Grateful Hearts. Chugging along, trying to get this done this month. I got all of the white in this heart filled in. And you may remember this is the all 1/1 section. So I'm using for this, don't have the bag here, maybe something like lamb's wool or flax, I don't remember. It's not, I don't think any of the colors that I'm using on this are the called for. They're close, but they're not the called for. So there's that little heart. So I think there is more brown in the floss I'm using than in the called for, but that's okay. So there we go. That's pretty, isn't it? So again, about an hour a day. I'm not getting every single day an hour in. But, you know, most days I get an hour in. I think one day I got more than an hour because I wanted to get that heart done. Yeah, I picked it up. That was The Matrix. We were watching The Matrix the other night, or rewatching The Matrix. Okay, so yesterday I spun the wheel and came back to, I have strands of floss just all buried in here, so hold on. And the needle that I'm taking out so that I don't lose it and step on it, and because you only want to do that once. So anyways, I spun the wheel yesterday and got the Linen and Threads Mystery Stitch Along from 2017. So I am working on the B row. So this, the gold color there is 680, and the dark purple, this is dark purple. Can you tell that's dark purple? It's 3741. So there's what we have so far. After this band, I'm only going to do one more. I'll probably do a skinny band in between and do one more bigger band. There's like a band with carnations and some skinny bands, and then the big one on the bottom. So I expect I'll finish this, you know, maybe in the next, but by the middle of the year, if depending on how often it comes up. So Linen and Threads. This is a 32 count mystery linen from my stash that I'm stitching 2 threads over 2. You know, the Tiny Decision app, I would be interested to hear what other people think who use it and use it consistently. Now granted, I've only been using it for a few weeks, not very many. And I went back in over the weekend. I hadn't given my choices any weights. You have an option to give them weights. I think with the paid version is like 99 cents. It's like, okay, I'll pay for it and give them weights, because I wasn't comfortable that it was treating all my choices fairly, if you will. So I went back in and gave them weights, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I haven't been doing it long enough to know if, excuse me, I haven't been doing it long enough to know if it's going to get me to each of them, right? There's a couple that I haven't touched in a while. Anyway, new start. I decided before we left Sunday to go to the car dealership to get the car. Now, Mike knew pretty much what he wanted. Like I said, he researches things to death. So, and he found this lease, and it's a 2018, so there was a great deal on the lease because, of course, the dealerships are trying to get the 2018s off of their lots. So he pretty much knew what we wanted. We just had to see what colors. But, you know, buying a car is such a long, tedious process. So I thought, you better take something to work on. I usually take my knitting with me to these kind of things. But the Palmer tee that I'm working on now, the place where I am right now, I have to have the chart and look at each row and see, you know, each row changes. And that's just tedious to take with me. And I certainly wasn't going to take any of my big projects with me because, again, it's tedious. So I decided to pull out one of my little dimensions kits where everything was contained. So it has all the, it's not even in here. It's in the bag. It has all the floss. I am not using the Ada. The Ada that came with this is one of the things of Ada that I gave away before we left Maryland. So I pulled out, oh goodness gracious. Let's use this as a backdrop. I pulled out a little piece of lamb's wool. I took the time to measure and make sure I had the right size. So everything else is the same. This called for a 14 count Ada. That's what was included. This is a 32 count linen, lamb's wool, probably weeks dye work or something by the looks of the even weave. Something that I had in my stash from my friend CJ. I zigzagged the edges. Go Jan. And so yeah, I have the word ocean done. This is very interesting. So this band over here, most of it, I mean, it's all half stitches. Most of it, the brighter turquoise is 2 strands, but the word ocean is actually done in 1 strand of this pale blue. So it really it's kind of this negative relief look to this band here. And then all of this background, like the only full crosses are the tree and the chair and the table. The rest of this is all half cross. So it's going to go pretty fast, she says. So you can see the word ocean here. I don't know when I'm going to work on this, whether this will be given an hour a day, like the Grateful Hearts, or I might put this aside and once Grateful Hearts is done, then pull that back out. It was cute though. The our salesperson at the dealership was a older Vietnamese gentleman, and he was just intrigued that I was stitching because he called it an old-fashioned hobby because nobody does it anymore. And I said, au contraire. And I don't know whether there is an article going around about how it's a hobby that nobody does anymore. But I guess women in his family used to do it, and he was just really rather quite thrilled and intrigued to see me stitching while we were waiting. It didn't take as long leasing a car as it does buying a car, and part of me was like, well, damn, I wanted to get more of this done. Anyway. So that is, that's the WIPS, that's the finishes. So now haul. So Jan, you said that you didn't pay for any of this. How does that work, and where can I get me some of that, right? The first is another piece from Lori Holt. This is from Fat Quarter Shop. So this is the Lori Holt, what is it? Lori Holt of Bee in My Bonnet. This is her latest. They are sending me every new pattern that comes out. Quilter's Cottage. Is that pretty or what? I think that is so pretty. I will probably have to change the colors. They're a little bit too stark for me, I guess. Probably if I used, I'll use the, you know, the overdyes. She does this on the 10 count vintage cloth that they sell. Of course, I'll pull something from my stash. But how pretty is that? So again, I will be linking this below so that you can see it and grab it. It's so Emma Stitchery from the Fat Quarter Shop. So the other reach out, the other stash. If you're somebody who enjoys the Russian aesthetic, and if you are on Instagram or some of the Facebook groups, some of them show up in Facebook, you know that some of the Russian designers are amazing. Just beautiful work. And if you have gone out in search of them to try and buy them, you have heard of mybobbin.ru. MyBobbin has, I guess, heard the outcry from stitchers around the world outside of the Eastern Europe Russian realm that we want to have easier access to their patterns. And so they are in the process of setting up mybobbin.com, a global store filled with gorgeous Russian designs. They reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in getting some of their designs and promoting them on my Flosstube channel. Twist my arm. They gave me a price limit of what they usually do for bloggers when they donate product to be promoted. And so I just went to their store, to the website, mybobbin.com, and just had a field day. I got seven PDFs, 7 digital patterns, and 1 kit. The kit is still in the mail. Their plan is to duplicate what's on the mybobbin.ru and take it further. If you have gone to mybobbin.ru, you know it is pages and pages and pages and pages of gorgeous Russian designs. They are constantly building their designer base, adding new designers. The woman I spoke with, she is the chief operating officer of MyBobbin. She's the one that I'd been communicating with. Their hope is that they will grow it even bigger than their Russian counterpart store. So, let me show you the ones I chose. Several of these are all from the same designer. This one, the first name is Anna, and I think it's Patonova, something like that. The name is actually in Russian there, so that does me no good. Watercolor irises for my iris wall. I'm trying to do this so we don't have a glare. Let me bring down my brightness and see if it'll stay that way. So this same designer has a series of doors. Doors, people. If you've been watching me any length of time at all, you know the affinity and the love I have for doors and windows. So she has a series that are seasonal. And unfortunately, they didn't go into my little thing in order. So this is the spring door. I want to start this so bad. Maybe that'll be my Valentine treat to myself. This is the autumn door. How gorgeous is that? The blue is just stunning. This is the winter door. And now we go to a different designer. Let me see if I can get this bigger for you. These are called Peony peony something, peony spray or something like that. How gorgeous is that? I love the watercolor look. I love that sprayed look, the kind of informal and, I mean, line drawing almost look. And then the faded look with the half stitches in the background. I just think that's gorgeous. Pisces. I don't do a whole lot with astrology. I don't necessarily believe in it, but I thought that was so pretty with the fish and the, I don't know, is that our flower, the Pisces flower? I don't know, pearls? I don't know, but it's awful darn pretty. And I am a Pisces, so there you go. And then the last door, the summer door. And the kit I got was a lighthouse kit. Like I said, that will be winging its way. She said they send everything airmail, so we'll have to see how long it takes to get from Russia to Hawaii. One caveat though, because she was so generous, I wanted to actually make a purchase because they were still working out some bugs. There were some bugs when I tried. They wanted me to follow a process to actually register this as an order, the patterns as an order in my cart, so that it would be an order, and that because they are digital patterns, so they'd be in my account. So as I was stepping through the process, we were having trouble with the field that they've set up for the address. And so there was a lot of back and forth, and me sending screenshots and them replying, try this, we talked to the tech engineer, let's try this, do this. And I wanted to make a purchase and step through that again. We actually never got it worked out. She actually created the order for me in my account. I had created an account and put my order in. So I wanted to step through it and make an actual purchase, not only to honor them because they were so generous with what they sent me, but also to make sure that the process was working for you guys. So it was. I got through it. I also have a ton of other things on my wish list. They do have a wish list there. So, and the prices are more than reasonable. So I put 3 things on my cart and got through the process of checking out up to the payment. Right now, the only option that was showing for me for payment was PayPal. And I tried both with my regular PayPal and just with using it as a credit card rather than going into my checking account. PayPal, I don't know whether it's because of the credit card I had in there or PayPal itself, shut me down. I got an error message saying that government regulations would not allow me to make the purchase. She tried sending me an invoice and having me pay the invoice. I got the same message. Your mileage may vary. I have a feeling it depends on what credit card you use. She did say they experience this. It may be if you're in a different country, you won't have the same kind of issues as the US is having now with Russia. I don't know whether the sanctions have something to do with it. I don't know. I just know I could not get the transaction to go through. Even if they opened it up to outside of PayPal, just a regular credit card, I don't think my credit card company would allow it. But having said that, your mileage may vary. They have gorgeous patterns. I was quite dejected and upset because I wanted these patterns. Anyway, I hope you guys have better luck. I hope you will go and check them out if you like the Russian designs and give them a try. And I would love it if any of you do. Let me know if you had success in checking out, because I think I think they do need to know that even though they've opened this global store, if for some reason, especially us US customers, if for some reason we can't make the transaction, complete the transaction, what good is it, right? So I'd like to hear if you guys try, so I can report back to her and let her know. All right, so I think that is everything. My joy this week, oh, the North Shore, those waves on the North Shore, they really were amazing. Wouldn't get in the water with them, but holy cow, I could have just stayed up there and watched them all day. My other joys are finishing. I used my sewing machine. I'll get better. I'm sure I'll get better. Although I have decided, discretion being the better part of valor, I had planned on finishing this as a pillow with this piping around it. I'm just going to, I think I still have enough fabric here. I'm just going to mount it on the sticky board, mount another piece of white sticky board behind it, and border it with this in between. Right? So it'll be like that. Kind of, sort of. You get it, right? I need to practice more with the sewing machine, that's for sure. I think that's all. Find your joy. I hope that you guys who are hurting, who are depressed, who are in any type of medical treatment, who have just reached the limit of what you're physically capable to do. I've heard of from so many of you of the issues that you face every day. I am holding you in my thoughts, lifting you up in prayer, that you find your joy regardless of your situation. I cannot even understand what some of you go through every day, but know that I'm thinking of you and I'm praying for you, and I'm sending you all the sunshine and all the rainbows. It was raining so much on Sunday, we didn't even have any rainbows. What's up with that? I'm sending them to you though, along with the little umbrella drinks for those friends in Hawaii. Are you still hot? Anyway, guys, take care. I will see you sometime in the not too distant future. I'm not sure when at this point. I'll talk to you later. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I forgot. Oh, hold the phone. Hold the phone. The giveaway, Filigree heart. We had 29 people request this. I did the random number generator. Random number generator. And the winner is Ann Pacini. Hope I'm saying that right. Ann, I will be commenting on your comment with my email address. Please email me and with your address, and I will get this out in the mail to you. Okay, I'm out of here because it is 12:28. It's time to get this uploaded and get some lunch. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.